Tonight, when you turn off the bathroom light, you won't think twice about it. But for your muscle, after 60, every night is a different kind of darkness. I need to tell you something your doctor probably never had time to explain in plain English. After 60, you are not just slowly getting weaker, you are being robbed by a biological process with a built-in timer. It's called sarcopenia. And if you miss a very specific 4-hour window after you move, the muscle you just tried to keep may not come back the same way. I have spent 20 years translating muscle physiology for people over 60. This is not a prescription. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, diabetes, or you take blood thinners, talk to your clinician before you change protein or exercise. This is education because the data is too important to stay in journals. Here is the reality. Sarcopenia is not rare. Depending on how you define it, it affects about 5 to 13% of community-dwelling older adults, and that climbs to about 1 in 5 over age 65. Larger reviews showed 20 to 50% of people in their 60s and 70s, and up to half of people over 75. It is a loss of muscle mass and strength after 50, and it more than doubles your risk of falls, fractures, loss of independence, and mortality. Strength, not how you look in the mirror, is one of the strongest predictors of how long you live. Why does it hit harder after 60? 3 switches get dull. First, anabolic resistance. At 30, 20 grams of protein flips the mTORC1 switch and muscle building starts. At 60, the same 20 grams barely moves the needle. You need a bigger signal. Second, your muscle stem cells, satellite cells, go quiet after periods of disuse. Third, your body clears amino acids faster, so the building phase is shorter. Think about this. In young muscle, after you eat protein, muscle protein synthesis rises, then hits what scientists call muscle full. You cannot just keep triggering it by eating more right away. Work by Wittard and colleagues shows the refractory period, the time before you can get another maximal response, is about 3 to 4 hours. After resistance exercise, that window stretches even longer. One classic study showed muscle protein synthesis was up about 50% at 4 hours, peaked around 109% at 24 hours, and did not return to baseline until about 36 hours later. That is your opportunity. That is also your risk. If the amino acids are not there while synthesis is elevated, especially in those first few hours, you waste the stimulus. For older adults, the problem is worse. You have to cross a leucine threshold to really turn on mTORC1. For most people over 65, that is about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in one meal. That is roughly 25 to 30 grams of whey, or 35 to 40 grams of a high-quality plant blend, or about 6 to 8 ounces of lean animal protein. Grazing on 10 grams here and there all day does not cross it, so the switch never fully flips. Now combine that with disuse. This is where the slide starts. Human immobilization studies show substantial muscle loss in just 5 days. 5 to 14 days of leg immobilization can reduce quadriceps cross-sectional area by 8.4%. That is not months. That is less than a week in bed after an illness or surgery. Here is the scary part for aging muscle. When young adults come out of disuse, satellite cells expand fast and muscle regrows. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen found aging is associated with diminished muscle regrowth and myogenic precursor cell expansion early after immobility-induced atrophy. In their studies, retraining after disuse showed no significant gains in muscle mass or satellite cells in older subjects, while younger participants showed clear improvements in fiber area. Translation: if you let atrophy sit too long, your ability to fully rebuild declines. It is not inevitable, but the window to act is much narrower. So how do you work with the 4-hour biology? You do not need fancy supplements. You need timing, dose, and movement. First, anchor your day with 3 to 4 protein pulses, spaced about 4 hours apart, not 6 tiny snacks. Second, make at least 2 of those meals leucine-rich. Whey is about 11% leucine, which is why it is studied so much. A meta-analysis of 10 studies found leucine supplementation in older adults with sarcopenia improved hand grip strength, appendicular muscle mass, and gait speed. If you are dairy-free, use a leucine-enriched plant blend or add 2 to 3 grams of free leucine to your meal. Third, pair protein with a resistance signal inside the window. You do not need a gym. A 2016 study showed evening physical activity before pre-sleep protein in older men increased the overnight synthetic response by improving amino acid uptake. Even bodyweight squats to a chair, wall push-ups, band rows, and heel raises for 15 to 20 minutes create the mechanical signal. Do it within 1 to 2 hours before your protein meal, so amino acids arrive while synthesis is already elevated from exercise. Fourth, distribute, do not dump. One study on timing during prolonged recovery found optimal myofibrillar protein synthesis with regular 20-gram whey doses every 3 hours, while bolus or skewed patterns were less effective. For older adults with anabolic resistance, newer crossover data suggests higher doses, 35 to 70 grams in a mixed meal, can stimulate a greater response than the old 20-gram rule, because the whole body uses amino acids too. That means your largest protein meal should follow your hardest activity of the day. A quick note on dose before we walk through the day. The gram amounts below are written for an active adult weighing about 160 pounds or 75 kilograms. At that weight, 4 pulses of 25 to 30 grams lands you around 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram per day, right inside the 1.0 to 1.5 range research supports for older adults. If you weigh more or less, scale each pulse up or down, but keep the leucine threshold and the timing the same. Here is what a training day looks like when you respect the refractory period. 7 a.m. Move to wake up, not to train. 10 to 15 minutes of easy mobility or a light walk. No resistance here. 8:00 a.m. Pulse 1. 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein with at least 2.5 grams of leucine. 12 p.m. Pulse 2. 4 hours later. Another 25 to 30 grams. A balanced lunch with lean protein, vegetables, and healthy fat. 3:30 p.m. Your one main resistance session. This is the only hard training of the day, and you only do this 2 to 3 times per week. 20 to 30 minutes. Full body, chair squats, wall push-ups, band rows, heel raises. 8 to 10 challenging reps. Good form. 4 p.m. Pulse 3 within an hour of training, 25 to 30 grams. Because you trained right before this 4-hour mark, amino acids arrive while synthesis is elevated. 8 p.m. Pulse 4, 4 hours later, 25 to 30 grams, leucine-rich. This serves as dinner and your pre-sleep feed in one, so you are not stacking 2 large doses 30 minutes apart. On non-training days, keep the same 4-hour pulse times, keep the morning mobility, and skip the 3:30 session. What about that fear of permanent atrophy? You cannot reverse decades of loss in 1 week, but you can stop the slide that happens after illness. The data on 5-day disuse tells us you must act early. Resistance exercise remains the most effective countermeasure we have to mitigate disuse-induced atrophy and aging. Even bands at home, done consistently before, during, and after periods of reduced activity, preserve muscle. If you have been sedentary, start with safety. Get clearance. Begin with 2 full-body sessions per week, 48 hours apart, to respect that 36-hour elevated synthesis window. Focus on form, progress load slowly. Add the protein pulses around those sessions first, then fill in the other meals. 3 mistakes I see all the time in people over 60. 1. Eating most protein at dinner only. That leaves you below threshold all morning when cortisol is high and breakdown is up. 2. Drinking collagen alone post-workout. Collagen is low in leucine. It does not trigger MPS well by itself. Pair it with whey or leucine. 3. Fearing protein because of kidneys. In people with normal kidney function, higher intakes around 1.0 to 1.2 grams per kilogram body weight per day, up to 1.5 during illness or training, are recommended to combat sarcopenia. If you have chronic kidney disease, you need individualized guidance. Do not guess. Let me be direct about what this 4-hour window is not. It is not a magic anabolic window where you must chug a shake within 30 seconds or lose all gains. The old bro science is outdated. Nutrient timing research shows the window is wider, but in older adults with anabolic resistance, delaying too long does blunt the response. Aim to eat within 1 to 2 hours after exercise, then respect the 3 to 4 hour refractory period before the next big protein bolus. The bigger picture is this: sarcopenia is not your destiny. It is a disease of disuse and undersignaling. Your muscle is listening for two signals: mechanical tension and leucine-rich amino acids. Give it both, spaced correctly, and you flip mTOR-C1, you activate satellite cells, you sustain synthesis for up to a day and a half after each session. Miss the window repeatedly, and especially after just 5 days in bed, you risk atrophy that older muscle struggles to fully reverse. If you take one thing from today, take this rhythm. Move with intent, then feed with purpose. Wait about 4 hours, then repeat. Do that 3 to 4 times a day, and keep resistance training in your week. That is how you work with the biology, instead of fighting it. Your muscle is not gone. It is waiting for the right signal at the right time. Give it that 4-hour window and protect the strength that keeps you independent.